How's it going, everyone? ND Sean 45 coming at you. This week, our biggest rivals, the USC Trojans, come to South Bend. Now, first off, we all know about the current situation at USC with head coach Steve Sarkeesian. Well, former head coach Steve Sarkeesian, I should say. It's not been pretty. As a matter of fact, it's been downright terrible for him. And, he's been thrown into a negative light, and he's been made fun of pretty heavily. Well, myself personally, I am the complete opposite. I'm not going to make fun of him because, quite frankly, addiction is never anything that should be made fun of. And I don't care what team he coaches. I don't care if it's a rival or any other team on our schedule, or anywhere for that matter. Addiction is not funny. It's very clear that Steve Sarkeesian has some issues and some demons that he's battling, and just from person to person, I do sincerely hope that he's able to overcome his demons and get his life back on track. Because nobody deserves to go through that. I mean, granted, yes, he did it to himself, but what you do to yourself, you can also stop and you can overcome it. Because, like I said, addiction it's nothing to laugh at. All it does is destroys a person and the people around them that love them. So, to Steve Sarkeesian and his family, I send my prayers to them, and I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he can overcome his demons. So with that said, on to the game. Now, USC is coming off a 17-12 loss to Washington, which none of us expected, not even me. And now, just because they're 3-2 and unranked, that means nothing to me. This is a team that has a lot of firepower, and excuse me. And if anything, after last week losing to Washington, they're going to come with extra firepower to try to knock us off. And that scares me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. So this is a dangerous game for us, and we've got to be ready. I mean, they have one of the most explosive offenses in the country, hands down. You got gunslinger Cody Kessler, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. He's been on fire all season, completing about 70% of his passes, 1,500 yards, and I think he had 15 touchdown passes last I saw to only 3 picks. But he's got some weapons around him. Running back Ronald Jones, who is averaging about 8 yards a carry, and then receiving threats Juju Smith, who is hands down their go-to guy with over 600 yards and 6 touchdowns. And opposite him is Adoree Jackson, who has about, I believe, close to 200 yards, and he does have 1 touchdown. But don't let the numbers fool you. This guy's a threat just as much as Juju is. So this is a USC offense. Yeah, excuse me on that. A USC offense who has a lot of firepower all the way around, and they are a tough team to stop. And don't let their 3-2 record fool you. So be prepared for a lot of speed, just like the Clemson game. Be prepared for the speed, because that's what this team is. They are fast, fast, fast. That's really the best way I can describe this team. So, what does that mean for the Irish? Well, it's very simple. Our whole defense has to step up. We can't get off to a slow start against the Trojans like we did against Clemson. If we get off to that slow start, this is a game that we're going to lose. Can't have that. So everyone, especially our secondary, got to be ready. Got to step their game up. Kavari Russell, Cole Luke, got to stay on Juju Smith and Adoree Jackson like glue. Can't let them get away, or else they will make you pay, hands down. So another big factor, our defensive line, we have got to put on the pressure hardcore. And I know it sounds like I say that every preview, but this game is an absolute must for that pressure. We've got to get to Kessler any way that we can, get him off balance, force him to make a mistake, force him to throw an interception. We keep him off balance, our chances in this game look pretty damn good, in my opinion. But still, like I said, with his weapons around him, Ronald Jones, we got to shut him down. He like I said, he averages about 8 yards a carry. Got to stop that. So I know that seems pretty like a pretty blunt key to victory here, but it's true. We have to play sharp, crisp defense, especially in the secondary. Can't get beat. Got to keep everything in front of us. Force turnovers. Linebacking core got to step it up too. Keep playing the way you have all season. No missed tackles. When you do make a tackle, you wrap up. That's just basic fundamentals right there. But all the basic fundamentals have got to be they've got to be executed properly for us to have success in this one. Offensively, I like our offense against their defense. Their defense is talented, but they're young. So we have the experience on our side. Granted, with all the injuries we've had, we've still been able to move the ball effectively and get it leads to points. So I'm not really worried about our offense against their defense. I think we definitely have the upper hand there. But still, we got to play crisp, we got to play clean, we got to be effective with the ball. We can't afford any mistakes. No turnovers. Again, just like Clemson, I know I'm referencing that game quite a bit, but this game against USC I see very similar to that one. We turned the ball over 4 times against Clemson, and it came back to bite us in the end. Can't have that against the Trojans. And like I said at the start of the video, just because they're unranked does not mean that they're not a threat. They are a threat. And if we want to have a chance at the playoffs come the end of the season, this is a key game for us. This is a challenge that we have to conquer. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We just have to play effective all around, both sides of the ball. Stick to their receivers like glue. Put the pressure on Cody Kessler big time, and got to move the ball effectively on offense and protect the football. Sounds simple, but of course, as we all know, it's easier said than done. But I'm confident that Kelly will have these guys ready. Van Gorder will have that defense ready, and I like our chances in this one. I really do. It's on our turf. It's prime time, and I think that is where we shine. So, with that said, score prediction. I can't lie. This is a little tricky. Against Navy last week. Granted, it was an option team, which we've had struggled with at times, but USC is obviously a much better team than Navy, and they have the firepower. So I don't see this one being a blowout. USC in their 2 losses, they've kept it fairly close. So I'm looking at probably a score of around 35-24 if we were able to do everything properly. So that's my final score prediction for this one. Notre Dame pulls this one out by a score of 35-24. That's just how I see it playing out. I really can't call this one a blowout. I just don't see it happen on either side, regardless of who wins. It's going to be a hard-fought game. So before I start rambling, like I have a tendency to do, I'm gonna call this video quits right here. So with that said, everyone, this is ND Sean 45 signing off. God bless, and as always, go Irish, baby! Beat Trojans!